elasticity of demand in tourism sector. A. Price elasticity of demand or PED for hotel accommodation. The formula is PED equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. The given data is price increase positive 12% and quantity demanded decrease negative 4%. So the calculation is PED equal to negative 4% divided by 12%. The answer is negative 0.33. Since we take the absolute value to determine elasticity, PED is 0.33. So the conclusion is, first, if PED below 1, demand is inelastic. Consumers are not very responsive to price changes. Second, since 0.33 below 1, the demand for hotel accommodation is inelastic. And the last, the demand for hotel accommodation is inelastic, meaning that even when price increase, the quantity demanded decrease only slightly. B. How household income affects the price elasticity of demand for tourism services. Government measures to increase household income, such as salary increases and higher minimum wages, can affect the price elasticity of demand for tourism services in the following ways. First, higher income increases demand for luxury tourism. When people have more disposable income, they are more likely to spend on leisure activities, including tourism. As tourism services become a larger part of discretionary spending, demand becomes more elastic. People respond more to price changes because they have more choices. Second, luxury versus necessity effects. If tourism services are considered a luxury, higher income makes demand more elastic, as people can easily switch between different options. Example, budget hotel versus luxury hotel. If tourism is a necessity, such as business travel or family visits, demands remain inelastic, as people will continue to travel regardless of price changes. Third, government subsidies and incentives. If the government introduces travel subsidies or discounts, the effective price of tourism services decreases, making demand more elastic. For example, discounts on domestic flights or hotel stays encourage more people to travel, increasing sensitivity to price changes. And last conclusion, as household income increases, demand for higher-end tourism services become more elastic. However, demand for essential travel, such as business trips, low-budget travel, may remain inelastic.
For my part is question 2, which is income elasticity of demand for luxury goods. Suppose an 8% increase in households' income results in a 12% increase in demands for luxury goods, such as imported cars. First, for questions A is calculate the income elasticity of demand for imported cars. Are imported cars a necessity or a luxury good? The formula for income elasticity of demand is income elasticity of demand equal percentage change quantity and demand over percentage change in income. The answer is 12 over 8 and the answer got 1.5. Since the income elasticity of demand for imported cars is greater than 1, it indicates the imported cars are a luxury goods. This means that as income increases, the demand for imported cars increases at a proportionally higher rate, signifying that they are not a necessity but rather a luxury item. So the conclusion is based from the given data, the income elasticity of demand for imported cars is 1.5, which is greater than 1. This confirms that imported cars are luxury goods. As households' income increases, the demand for these cars increases more than proportionally. Furthermore, change in income levels significantly influence demand for luxury goods like imported cars. If households' income rises, the demand for these goods will increase. Conversely, if income declines, consumers may prioritize essential goods over luxury items, leading to a drop in demand. Thus, the demand for imported cars is highly dependent on economic conditions and income levels. Then questions for B is, in what manner might the alteration in income levels addresses in the article influence the demand for these goods? So the answer is alteration in income levels can significantly influence the demand for luxury goods like imported cars. As households' incomes increase, the demand for luxury items tends to rise more than proportionally, leading to a greater increase in sales. Conversely, if income level decrease, the demand for this good may drop sharply as consumers prioritize essential purchases over luxury items. As income increases, consumers are more likely to spend on luxury items such as imported cars, indicating that these goods are not necessities. A rise in income often leads to an increase in the demand for luxury cars.
Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Nur Qurratu Aini binti Muhammad Nasrum. Okay, so I will explain about question 3. In this question, the article said that the manufacturing factor has been a key driver for economic growth, increased demand for raw materials like steel and aluminium. Suppose the price of steel rose by 15%, leading to 10% increase in demand for aluminium. For question 3A, we need to calculate the cross price elasticity demand between steel and aluminium. Okay, this formula shows that percentage change in quantity demand of aluminium 10% over percentage change in price of steel 50%. When 10% over 50% equal to 0.67. Okay. Since the CPED is positive, it shows that when the price of steel increase, the demand of aluminium also increase. For question 3B, we need to determine whether these goods are substitutes or complements. Justify your answer using insights from the article. Okay. Before that, I will explain what is substitutes, what is complements. Substitutes are goods that can replace each other. When the price of one rise, consumers can switch to the other. For the complements, goods are that use together. When the price of one rise, demand for both decrease. Steel and aluminium are considered as substitutes in economics, meaning that if the price of one increase, the demand for the other are likely to increase because they can be used for each other in many applications such as similar functions, weight difference, and price fluctuation impact. As example, as you know, when the steels and aluminium are substitutes, consumers and businesses can use aluminium as alternative when the price of steel becomes more expensive.
So for question 4, I will explain about price elasticity of supply. For question 4A, we have formula pairs. So I will explain price elasticity of supply space and how it applies to electronic goods. First, we will calculate pace and determine whether the supply is elastic or inelastic. So from the question, we know that change in price is 12% and change in quantity supply is 5%. So I apply the formula pairs equal 5% divide 12% and equal to 0.42. Since pairs equal to 0.42, which is less than 1, this means supply is inelastic. When price increases by 12%, the quantity supply only increased by 5%. This happens because electronic goods require time, resources, and production capacity to increase supply. So for the conclusion, the supply of electronic goods is inelastic because a change in price leads to a smaller proportional change in quantity supply. So we move to next question, which is B. The question is two factors contributing to inelastic supply in the manufacturing sector. The two factors is supply constraint and global uncertainty. So we will look to supply constraint. For supply constraint, based on our case study,
The article mentions supply constraint, which can be caused by shortage of raw material such as semiconductor, chips in the electronics industry, limited production capacity where factories cannot increase output quickly, lack of skilled labor needed for manufacturing electronic goods. This factor make it difficult for manufacturers to increase supply even when price is rise and resulting in inelastic supply. And from the global uncertainties, the article also highlights global uncertainties which may include trade restriction such as import or export tariff limiting raw material supply, supply chain disruption caused by pandemic, wars, or natural disaster, economic instability making manufacturers hesitant to expand production. When economic and trade conditions are uncertain, companies may be reluctant to increase output quickly, keeping supply inelastic. Last but not least, for the conclusion, due to supply constraint and global uncertainties, the manufacturing sector, especially electronic goods, cannot increase supply quickly in response to price changes. As a result, the supply curve remains inelastic. That's all from me.